Hello, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to go back to the basics. A lot of you have been asking me, hey, I want to learn more about ManyChat. I'm new to the channel. I want some of the basics. So I thought I'd go back to the roots. I'm going to go in and show you how to create a flow and all the components that you could put into a flow so you could be a master at building these chatbot conversations. Again, I'm Smarty with the ProEdge team, and I really appreciate you here. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I'm here to show you tips and tricks, not only around ManyChat and chatbots, but technology in general. I'm a 35-year technologist. I love technology, and not just for the sake of it, but how can it make your life better, get more leads, close more deals, and make us more efficient as a realtor. So let's hop into ManyChat and let me show you the power of the flow builder. Okay, here on ManyChat, I'm going to go through some of the basics of how to create flows. So you can start your foundation if you want to be a bot builder yourself. You're a realtor that wants to create a buyer flow or seller flow. You'll know some of the fundamental capabilities here. Many of the features here I'm going to be showing, some of them are pro features. So if you are going to be using a bot, highly suggest you upgrade to the pro account. I have a link below. If you don't have ManyChat, you can use my link to get the bot, and I also will provide bot training along with that link and give you some more details. So what I'm going to do is just give you a basic overview, and then if there's any more questions you have, please leave a comment below. I'm here to help you every step of the way. So the first thing I'll show is just, when you're on automation here, the very top, you have 4 different menu options up here, or selections. We're on the flows. Keywords are used to trigger events. So somebody types something in Messenger, you could fire a flow. Sequences are automated drips. So in my ProEdge package, I have a whole year drip campaign for buyers, sellers, and renters. So I use sequences quite often. And then we have rules, and rules are automation. So if like somebody's visits an open house, I may pause 4 hours and then check in with them with the bot, say, how did you like the house? Do you want to put an offer in? So that's the fundamental capabilities of automation. Now at the flow level, a flow is a conversation. So an individual flow, and I'm going to build a flow here with you, has a start and an end. So they'll start coming into the flow. You'll have a conversation. So if you're going to do a buyer flow, you may want to get how many beds they want, how many baths, and so forth. And you'll set that up in the flow. Now these flows can get quite large. So in my ProEdge package, for example, I think I have 300 flows now in the package. So just having a big list of 300 flows is not practical. So ManyChat allows you to create folders. So this is my ProEdge package. And then when I click on the package here, you'll see I have all the subfolders for sellers, renters, AI, investors, Instagram, buyers, etc., my partner flows. So that's just a better way to organize your flows themselves. Okay, to create a flow, there's a new flow button at the top right in ManyChat. Each name, so when you click on it, you'll give it a name. So I'll call it the ProEdge buyer test right now, and I'll hit create. So what this will do is open up the flow builder inside of ManyChat. The flow builder is like basically a canvas where you can start diagramming out the questions you want to ask somebody in the chatbot and the logic with that. If you don't see this flow up top, you may be sitting at the basic builder. So at the very top, you could toggle between the basic builder screen or the flow builder. Make sure you're on the flow builder from the very top. So in the flow, every flow has a starting step. So I had a video earlier in my channel. Check it out. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you hit that bell so you'll get notified. But when you subscribe, I do have videos that go over the different growth tools in the starting step, like URLs, QR codes, and stuff. So make sure you check out that video. But every flow, when it comes in, you could start. The first step could be a message, Instagram, SMS, email. There's other channels like Telegram and WhatsApp. So you could set those up as well. And then you have your logic type steps like actions, conditions, and randomizers. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with a simple message flow diagram. Now, when you click on this, the editor comes up on the left. Now, where it says send message, as a best practice, because some of these flows may have lots of boxes and connections, especially if you're talking to a buyer and how many beds you want. And another message would come up, how many baths, what's your budget, what areas. they will be individual boxes here that are connected with some logic. And you want to make sure that when you're reading the flow diagram, it makes sense to you. So I'll usually give these names. So this is my intro conversation. And then you have the text box. So we're on a text box flow widget. So now I can start typing in what I want the bot to say. So I could say hi. And then over in here in the black bar, you have emojis and the squiggly lines. The squiggly lines are field selectors. So also on my channel, a couple months ago, I went over the different field types in ManyChat. We have system fields, bot fields, and user fields. So if you're not familiar with those, go check out that video and you'll learn the differences between those. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and put in the person's first name. So now there's some personalization. When they first come in the bot, I'll say, hey, Mary, and then start the conversation like, how are you? So you can have all kinds of conversations, or thank you for responding to my Facebook ad. Let me show you a list of homes that I promised you. So you'll go in and put that logic in. Now, down below, there is other types of things you could put inside of a message. That includes images, videos, files, and audios. So if you select any of those, literally when you click on files, it'll allow you to go out to your desk and go grab that file. So in this case, I have a PDF on my desk and I'll go pull that in. The one thing I'll point out with videos, audios, files, and images is pay attention to the size of those files. If you put a heavy MP4 video in here, like a YouTube channel video, you'll turn people off, because if they're out in the park and they're on their Facebook Messenger and they're talking to your chatbot, and all of a sudden it gets to this step in the flow and it has to download a large image or file, then it may take a while to come down on their screen, and they'll lose interest and move on to something else on their phone. So always pay attention to the sizes and stuff to make sure that you don't overburden the bot. Other popular ones, we have galleries. Galleries are like a page of multiple images that they can swipe. This is used by retailers. So you may be looking at shoes or shirts and you're swiping through a messenger to see each one. In the real estate world, I showed an example of my Dream Home Finder on a video a couple of weeks ago, where I had a gallery of lists of homes and let them swipe through it. A gallery will have a picture with actionable items like a title and a subtitle and some buttons. There's also what's called delays. So if I want to put a delay after I say, hi, how are you? If I click on this guy, I can control how much is the delay. So in this case, I'll say maybe 2 seconds. And then if you click on this action type, I won't show any typing. So this will just be a pregnant pause. So how are you? It pauses. And then what I can do here is I can duplicate this. And then on this guy, I'll show the typing. So there'll be a 4-second gap between how are you and then the next message. So play around with these. You want to simulate a traditional conversation through Messenger, but you don't want to be too long or too fast in the bot. As the bot's sending things, sequentially, you want to basically emulate a human conversation. So that's basically how this works. The next one I want to show is I use often is user input fields. ManyChat is a mini CRM, and the bot does a great job at getting information from people as it's talking to them. So if it's a buyer, I want to know how many beds are they interested in, how many baths, what's their budget, are they pre-approved, are they working with an agent, what areas are they interested in? As they're responding, I want to give them choices to pick from. And based on their selection, I want to store that in a field inside of ManyChat. So now I can see that this person's looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, has a $400,000 budget, and they're looking for Ambler, Pennsylvania. So when I talk to them with the notices, I'll know exactly what they're looking for to be more proactive in talking to that buyer. Now, when I click on this guy, because it's a user input field, ManyChat has multiple reply types you can select from. So it could be just text. You let them text a response. It could be multiple choice, and I'll set one of those up here in a minute, where I may want to give them options to pick from. It could be a number, it could be an email, a phone number, a URL, an image, a location. I have people share the location when I do my universal QR code. So they see a QR code on a for sale sign, they scan it, and then the bot will say, hey, I know, thanks for scanning my sign. Let me verify the house that you're standing in front of. And then they'll verify their location, and bang, it'll show them the details of the house. So that's another fun one that I use. But let me show you a couple examples. So let's say I want to get somebody's email. So when I click on email, I'll just put in the text, what is your email, right here. And then down here, because it's an email, you always want to make sure that you select that save as a system field and an opt-in here. Because if the person's offered up their phone number or email, you want to be able to have the bot communicate with them if you want to send them a text or an email of an ebook. But also, if you're zapping this over to your CRM wants a phone number and email with the contact information. So, you always want to store these and make sure they're set properly. If I do another one, let me come down and do a next one. I'll show an example of a multi-text or multi-option, because I may ask them a question and I want them to respond by selecting buttons. So if I do multiple choice, and in the multiple choice, you could decide whether you want free text as well. Sometimes I'll select that because maybe I'm asking for what areas, and I give them 3 areas, but they have another. So I want them to type in where they want to be. Now in ManyChat, you can decide what custom field you want to store their answer. So I have, if we're going to do beds, I have a field called PE bedrooms. So this is the field that's going to store how many bedrooms they're looking for. So as I click on this, down below, you could do a few things. If the person doesn't respond after so many minutes, seconds, whatever, you could trigger another message from the bot, say, hey, did you get distracted? Do you want to let me know how many bedrooms you want? So you can get pretty advanced in the logic of the flow, whether they're responding or not responding and so forth here in Messenger. Now, because this is a multi-selection down here, and I said allow free input, there's a quick reply here, and I can also have a skip button. So down here, when they're looking at the flow, I could decide whether or not they can skip the answer or not. So if I hit quick reply, maybe I want to do 1+. So that's my first. And then the second question is going to be 2+. And then so forth. So you get the idea. So you could have as many, you can't have as many because sometimes you don't want to make it too many choices. So put some logic in here, to make it really easy. And I'll just say 4+. I'll give them 4+ as the last option. So if I come back out here on the flow builder, so if I click over here and I'll move my face over here, you'll see this is how it looks here. So you'll ask the question and then have the answers. If you ever want to go back to do an edit, you click on the flow builder, and then down here, you want to make sure you have how many bedrooms do you need, right? So you'll ask the question. So that's what's showing up here. So back on the flow builder, you have this here. So that's the components of a message type. But let me show you a little bit more advanced stuff, because you may want to put more logic into this flow if you're building it out yourself. If you hit the plus sign over here, these are all the different things you can do. You could do a message, Instagram, SMS. As I mentioned, they also have WhatsApp and Telegram. So you could set those channels up. But what I also suggest is don't mix and match. Don't send them an Instagram and a message, a messenger conversation all in the same flow. I had another video on the channel where I show how the powerful feature of ManyChat is to take an existing flow that may be on Messenger, and with one button, I can convert it to another channel. So I can make an Instagram version and a message version and a SMS version with a couple clicks. Down here's the logic. So actions, when I click on actions, a box will show up. And then I can connect these by just clicking this next step like that. Or I can say, send another message. And when they reply with how many bedrooms, I can connect those two and then say tag is bedrooms. and I have a tag called beds provided. So I always want to know, I use tags quite liberally in my package. So I know, did they already give me the bedrooms? Don't ask again. Did they already give me an email? Don't bother them again. So my bot has a lot of logic in it. So it's a very intelligent bot, not repeating things for the same person if they've already given us that information. So you could do this kind of stuff. Now, another favorite one is, if I hit the blue, is logic. So in here, if I have a condition, I can click on this guy. And then the first condition I want to do is, if bedrooms are, and then you have different fields here. If the bedrooms is 1, right, plus, right, is the first condition, I may want to go down one path, and I can get rid of these connections by highlighting them. And then I'll connect this guy here. So now it's connected. So now I have some logic. So if they say they only want a 1-bedroom, I may have one message. If they say they want a 4-bedroom, I may ask them a different message. So bedrooms isn't really applicable, or where I'd put a condition, but things like budgets or timing, if they say they need a house by next week, I may say, sorry, in this market, it's going to be hard to find, or I need to move in next week. That's not feasible unless it's an apartment or what have you, or an existing home. But if they have 90 days to move in, I may have another message. So you get the idea. As I'm getting data, the condition box lets me put advanced conditions to say, go down this path, or this path. Now, finally, on my channel, I showed a couple of weeks ago, notifications is, now that this person gave you an email, you're going to want to make sure that you trigger something here in this flow to send it over to your CRM. So make sure that you check out that video on Zaps. So I show an example of ManyChat over to KV Core. So that's based on either a tag or an event. So up in here, I could either have a tag, and that's what I like to do, and I'll say send buyer to CRM. So I'll tag the person because they already gave me an email. And then this is going to trigger a zap to send it over to my KV Core system. So you'll want to do that kind of logic. And then lastly, you want to notify you when that person is done the conversation. So if they've already given you a phone number, email, you want a text message, an email. So it's all about speed to lead. You want to get that right on your phone and call that buyer and say, hey, I'm glad to help you. When can we meet? I see you wanted a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I already set up some alerts for you. Check out some of the homes I just sent you, but let's meet and let me go find you a house. So what you can do here is, when you click out here, one of the things that I showed on one of my other videos, you could either do the notice inside this flow, or you can call other flows. So if you check out my other video on my ninja trick, if I type in the word notice here in my chatbot, I have a flow for notifications. If I type it right, notification. Oh my gosh, I can't type today. So notice, and down here, I have my notification flow that I'm going to tie it to, and I'll say select. So what's going to happen here is, in summary, we'll have a starting step, and the starting step may trigger based on a QR code, a URL, a Facebook ad, a comment on a post. Check out that other video, and you'll find out the powers behind the starting step. It's going to ask questions. It's going to welcome the person. It's going to get how many bedrooms they want. It's going to send me a notice after it got the email, and we're ready to get this client to go find them a home. I hope you found this helpful. This is a very short video on how to build a flow. As you can see, it's not that hard in ManyChat. They have lots of powers. I'm at an advantage because I've been in software development for real estate for 35 years. So for me, this is second nature. That's why I put together the ProEdge chatbot for real estate AI system, so that if you don't want to get into building these flows, you could just bring my package in, and I'll help you run that chatbot for your real estate business. I appreciate you being here. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and I'd love to hear comments, what you think of this. I'm always here to help you, and have a wonderful day.